We've done it. We have made it to game 82 of the regular season. They said we couldn't do it. It honestly feels like this season just flew by. Game 82. There's been ups, there's been downs, a lot more downs than I would have liked, if I'm being completely honest. But damn it, we pre-gamed through it all. We post-gamed through it all, and we're going to do it one final time in the regular season. And Coombsy, no better way to close it out than a meaningless 8:30 p.m. puck drop at the Shark Tank. Hell yeah, brother. Oilers, Sharks, Sharks, Oilers. Hello and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant, and is a presentation of Bet365, because you know it, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm joined by a man I've been joined by a lot this season on pre and post. It's Coombsy, and I am happy to report that intern Reese is behind the controls of pre-gaming right now. Clap it up, Coom. Clap it up, because I get to call him intern Reese for approximately one more day, and then I think he's co-worker Reese, baby. But one final thing. So, hey, chat, be nice. Be nice, be complimentary as well to my boy. But Coombsy, final game of the regular season. Hallelujah, if you ask me. We've pre-gamed a lot together. How are we feeling? How are the vibes for, as I mentioned, kind of a meaningless game 82? We're going to bring the vibes. We're going to bring the energy. I got a couple games we can play here, whatever. But how are we feeling vibe-wise?
Oh, I've had this game circled on my calendar for months. I've just been thinking, you know what, game 82, 8:30 p.m., probably an 8:50 p.m. puck drop in San Jose, if we're being honest. That's going to be a blast. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. Quite honestly, I've been looking forward to the regular season being over for a long time. It sort of feels like this whole regular season was a bit of a formality, given the Oilers were in the Stanley Cup final last season. So we all sort of showed up this year in October thinking, well, when's it going to be April again? And here we are now in the middle of April. It's not the best situation given the injuries, but I think we're all pretty excited that it's playoff time.
Yeah, you couldn't have described that any better than what you just said. I've had to sit in this chair for, I think, a total of 79 out of 82, because I missed Arizona, I missed a Christmas dinner, and I missed in Vegas. So I only didn't do 3 games this season, as I mentioned. A lot of ups, lots of downs. It truly was a roller coaster. But the chat has been with me every step of the way, so let's check in with today. And, of course, wouldn't be game 82. Feels right that Austin is the first comment in the chat. He says, Bordzy, fire up this fucking band, baby. Regular season finale. 2 points in the bank, my ON fam. Get the likes up in here. Let's send this season out with a bang. He also adds a cup year, and I'm gonna say those full words. Let's fucking go. It's almost playoff time, Mackay and Dry. Let's finish strong and keep everyone intact. Cup year. Loyal to the oil. Woo, game 82. Let's finish this cup year season with a bang. Go Oil. Sasky girl, no words of inspiration tonight. Whiskey, 2 points. And Bordzy is all I need. Sasky, I love and appreciate you. Mark, the boys will probably just stay in California after the game. Even types Canadian. You gotta love that in there. I don't know. Coombsy, what do you think? I would assume they would come home after this game. That's way too many days, in my opinion, to be hanging out.
I think so, probably, because they might not be starting until Sunday night, and I would guess it's probably too many nights in a hotel. They'd probably want to come back and regroup and just fly again.
It's been reported it could even be Monday night for the Edmonton Oilers. We will talk about that as well. There's some options. Jason Greger had a great tweet. We'll get into it in a couple of minutes, kind of breaking everything down. But it's a lot of words and numbers in a tweet. So I put it all into the actual calendar, because you got to take into account the Los Angeles Kings and their schedule, or not the Los Angeles Kings, the Los Angeles Lakers and their schedule.
At least the Clippers are gone now.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck LeBron. He should not take precedent over anything. But in here, loyal to the oil, also being very complimentary for game 82. So we should get some stick taps for Bordzy. What a great regular season. I appreciate that very much. Throw down your like, super chat it up, do whatever you need to do. Lance Kane, I have been watching Oilers hype videos for the last hour. I'm ready to run through a wall. Cup, yeah. Also,
just for the San Jose game specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for game 82.
Well, there's a lot of a lot of painful memories against the Sharks in our past. So, hey, you can get hyped. They all matter. Lance, though, he sent me a DM today. He's got the truck. He's got the oil rig, the oil derrick in the back pickup. It's got the flag going and everything. Nobody playoffs harder than Lance Kane. I will stand on that. I'll stand on business for that one. He's also got his beautifully rhinestone jacket. Lance, you're an MVP. You're one of the best. Veronica's in, who's also one of the best. She left in. I love Connor McDavid. So do I. Veronica, damn it, I love you as well. Lance says, no, I love Connor McDavid. She says, I love him the most. Cody's in, says, give us a poll, Bordzy, Coombsy. Probably don't get that, but on the last one, forget what my wording was. It was something about like everybody loves polls or something like that. And the moment I said it, I lost the chat for the rest of the show. It was all about poll talking. It even bled over into Oilers Nation every day because this chat needs to grow up. No, that'd be very pot calling the kettle black if Bordzy were to say that. Then I got an early super chat in here. Reminder, all your super chats are in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, a beautiful cause here in Edmonton that does awesome things for families dealing with patients, children. That's the word, children that are dealing with cancer. But Rafat Barrows in 279. Guys, why were we complaining about the suspension? I haven't been complaining whatsoever. In fact, I've said a one-game suspension is the perfect thing for Darnell Nurse. Whatever. I'm not happy with the play that he did. That's dirty. You should get suspended for doing that. But Coombsy, once again, I should knock on wood as I say this. You can't get hurt if you're not playing in the hockey games. So this means Darnell Nurse, he's not bubble wrapped right now, but he's the next closest thing. Coombsy, or were you upset about the suspension?
No, I wasn't at all. I thought given the situation, given that it came late in the season against the Los Angeles Kings, and that's a team the Oilers are going to be facing right away in the playoffs, there's a history here where Nurse has been suspended in the playoffs before. There was the headbutting incident against LA in 2022 and 23. He had that fight late in the game with Vegas and suspended for both of them. So I thought there was a chance, given that precedent, they might want to send a message and have him miss game one, but just this meaningless last game, 82 against the San Jose Sharks, I think is a win for the Oilers.
Yeah, I would 1,000%. He's a guy who's shouldered a large workload for the Edmonton Oilers lately. Been the number one defenseman, leading them in ice time consistently for a month and a bit. I mean, he shouldn't have done what he did. That's bad, Darnell. Don't do that. But once again, if I'm being honest here, I'm going to be transparent. I really couldn't give less of a shit. Now, tonight, Coombsy, is the final pregame of the regular season, and it will also be the final pregame without our new friend, former Edmonton Oilers goaltender, Devin Dubnyk. That's right. We finally announced it today on Oilers Nation Every Day. Doobie going to be joining Bordzy on every pre- and post-game show for the Oilers playoff run this season. I am incredibly stoked about this. Lifelong Edmontonian, watching the Oilers my entire life. I remember them getting Dubnyk. I remember the highs, lows. Not a ton of highs in there for me to be specific. That's just it with Doobie. He's been through it all. He's seen it all. He's been an elite goaltender in the NHL. Unfortunately, that came elsewhere, not in Edmonton, but this is something that's been in the works for a little bit now. We worked hard to get him on. He's been a regular guest on Oilers Nation Every Day, and one of the things we do there, which I am so excited to do immediately after every playoff game, is any debate we have when we want to X's and O's, we're yelling at Bouchard, this guy's coverage over here, Skinner sucks over this. We just all get to refer to King Devin Dubnyk, ask him what actually happened, and what Doobie says, well, what Doobie says goes. I'm so stoked to be doing this. So for the details, people, he's going to join the final 10 minutes of every single pre-gaming with Bordzy. So that means Bordzy's bankroll is going to have to move up a little bit. Place your bets a little bit earlier. He's going to come in with his 3 keys to victory for every single game. We'll close it out. Maybe we'll even ask Doobie if he's got a couple bets he likes. How does he feel about the bankroll? We'll then watch the game, go our separate ways, do our thing, and then starting Oilers Nation After Dark, Doobie's going to do the first, I don't know, I think 30, could be 20, however much we want, whatever we need to talk about, breaking down specific plays, revisiting his 3 keys to the game and whatnot. So stoked for this. Now, I'm still going to have regular Oilers Nation hosts with me. So, Coombsy, you can still pregame with Bords. But now it's pregaming with Bordzy and Duby. Now, there's a lot of jokes to be made here. I'm not going to make them right now, but you can imagine all of
Who's
them.
sponsoring that?
I'm in full support of all those jokes. But, Coombsy, can you believe it? You've been with ON for a while. We've now got a former Oilers signed on to do playoff games late at night. Duby's the man.
Yeah, this is great. He's always really good whenever he comes on as a guest with Tyler and Liam. He always comes out with some really good quotes. I mean, he's one of those guys, like a former goalie in the NHL. You know that goalies are usually pretty quirky guys, or usually good quotes, people who view the game in a different way because they're standing there in the net seeing what's happening. And I think they offer a good insight because of that. And he's also someone who's not really afraid to just kind of say it how it is and be pretty blunt, which is pretty fun. Sometimes when you're watching the former NHL players talk on TV, I think they're a little skeptical or worried to be too hard on the players in the league because, you know, they're all buddies and this and that. But Devin Dubnyk's one of those guys who's not afraid to be honest and blunt, which I really appreciate. So he's going to be a really good addition to these shows, I think. Yeah,
I see the chat. They've made all the possible jokes that you could make about this one as well. I like Mackay and Dry. Dubsy. Pre-game with Dubsy as well. That's a cross between Doobie and Bordzy. I also said to him, and I've said it multiple times, you ever want to come down to Edmonton? You ever want to experience Greta Bar-Yeg in its element for the NHL playoffs? Dude, you got a full invite. I'm sure he can stay at the Airbnb at the office. It's a beautiful place. Now, unfortunately, I might be crashing. Oh my God, me and Dubes just crashing together. That'd be fantastic. But no, very excited for this to
Dubes
go
on
down.
The balcony.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very, very stoked about this because, as I said, lifelong Edmontonian. I also can't wait for game one because I have a photo. I'm probably fresh 18, 19, something like that. And he was on the Minnesota Wild, but I was at Cactus Club after an Oilers game, bumped into Doobie in the washroom. And I'm like, you got to be smart. Like, you can't ask him for a photo in the washroom. So I kind of like got all my buddies. I was like, guys, like Doobie's over here. Well, just kind of casually loitered outside. He comes out, got a photo with him. I still have it. It's on my Instagram. He's just towering over every single one of us because he's so much taller. We'll ask him if he remembers me. I highly, highly doubt it. Oh, yeah, that drunk guy at Cactus Club that one time, Bordzy. But Coombsy, if you didn't know for this game by now, tonight's game kind of absolutely pointless for the Edmonton Oilers. Just a formality. They're locked in. Round one series with the LA Kings. Once again, only difference this year for the fourth season in a row, the LA Kings will have home ice advantage. Game one going at crypto.com arena. The only question, when will game one actually take place? So I'd like to know personally for our 7-hour-long mega stream. Once again, everyone in the chat, be sure to tune into that. We've got a lot of hilarious ideas planned for this stream. Be sure to tune in. Coombsy, I think you're also going to be joining the mega stream, right?
I don't know. You guys haven't asked me yet, but I assumed I would be.
Okay, well, we've been talking in the room. That's probably why we haven't even asked you, is just because we assumed. And what you're going to have to do, let's say it involves odd company in some variety. You can probably, I know you're really good at that. So you can, all right, I'll say it. Guz beers out on the patio. That's kind of what we got planned for Coombsy. Get him in his element. Get him in his element. Now,
get me hiccuping.
Yeah. Oh my God. If that happened again for 7 straight hours, Coombsy, that
7 hours of hiccuping.
That'd be fantastic, brother. But Reese, producer Reese, I get to say, we have the Jason Gregor tweet, I believe, in there somewhere where he's breaking down the Edmonton Oilers and what they're kind of faced with here for their scheduling for their first round playoff matchup. So here it is, Greg's great breakdown. We love you. We appreciate you, Greg's. Oilers and Kings still waiting on the schedule. The LA Lakers play at home in LA on Saturday, the 19th, when the NHL playoffs, they think, will start, and Tuesday, the 22nd. So those are 2 home games on those days for the LA Lakers. Game 2 of Kings Oilers series likely to go down on Wednesday then, which leaves the option to play game 1 either Sunday or Monday. TV obviously has a big say, and as much as I might not agree with it, LeBron James does take precedent over most things in the sports world, which would suggest game 3 and 4 in Edmonton are on the 25th and 27th. there's something really sick about the 25th. It's a Friday. That would be an incredible 27th, the Sunday. Game 5 in LA on Tuesday, the 29th, because the Lakers have their Game 5 against the Timberwolves scheduled for Wednesday, the 30th. NHL doesn't like back-to-backs, so that would make sense. It says it's happened before with a back-to-back. I will riot if anyone ends up playing a back-to-back. But right there, that's a lot of words. That's a lot of numbers, just a lot of everything. Once again, Greg's, I love you. But I did make a little schedule that there's a graphic on here that has the LA Lakers, some question marks, and some green checks. It's like a pop-up book. It's easier to process this way when you've got fun colors coming out at you. So Saturday the 19th, that's the LA Lakers' first game against the Timberwolves, which leaves the 2 question marks for Sunday or Monday, because as we know, Lakers again on Tuesday. Greg said, seems certain Game 3 for the Oilers series would go down on that Wednesday. Then, as I mentioned, a Friday Game 3, Edmonton Oilers on home ice. Hook that in my veins. Sign me up for that one. Then a Sunday, which means Sunday Fun Day, if you ask me, down at Greta. Then you would expect Game 5 to be on Tuesday because you couldn't do it on that Monday. And on the Wednesday, the Lakers are playing as well. A lot of information there. So the only thing we, at this rate, once again, this is all speculative, but Greg's, he's connected. He knows what he's talking about. Goomsy, my question to you, and maybe the chat keeps bringing up polls. Brett, I know producer Brett is behind the scenes there as well because a great teacher. He's always there with his student. Bert, do you want to make a poll? Ask the chat if they would rather have Sunday or Monday for a start time. Because personally for me, I think I'd rather do Monday. Because Easter Sunday is that Sunday. It's also 420. That's kind of a national holiday for guys like me as well. Coombsy, you as well. But it'd be nice to start your week, like go to bed Sunday, being like, hey, tomorrow I wake up in playoff mode, and then you're ready to go Monday morning. Coombsy, would you rather do Sunday or Monday? And then how dope does that Friday Game 3 in Edmonton sound? We'll be at Greta.
I think Sunday, it being the 20th, makes it fitting just because it's going to be Doobie's first show with us. It'll be pre-gaming / pre-rolling with Doobie, and it'll be on 420. So it just all sort of makes sense. I think all the logic adds up, the rest and the day off, the weekend, this and that for Monday. But honestly, I think it should be on Sunday.
Yeah, I could get that. I mean, now that you made that pun, and the puns that could be made on the show, once again, talk to Doobie a couple times. We've emailed back and forth a couple times. That'd be a pretty funny way to start out the show. Absolutely. That's the one sponsor I don't think we're allowed to get on this show at any point. I don't think Alberta allows that. I see in the chat. Wow. Polls like kind of split 50-50. Let that one cook. Let that one marinate for a minute. It's Monday 52%, Sunday 48%. So yeah, everybody's kind of torn on that one as well. So I just want to check. So it is official now. The Montreal Canadiens did just defeat the Carolina Hurricanes. So that was the only spot still up for grabs when it came to the NHL playoff picture. Everything in the West has been completely set. Well, for the Edmonton Oilers, everything in the East wasn't. It was a battle between the Montreal Canadiens and the Columbus Blue Jackets. So Montreal, all they had to do in this game tonight against Carolina, who was resting a number of serious players, is just simply get 1 point, get the win for sure, but just get 1 point and you would be ahead of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And as I see, Brett kind of scared me. He put in the chat here and he said that Montreal was going to blow it, but they win 4-2 over the Hurricanes, meaning they have stamped their ticket to the NHL playoffs, where they will now have a date with the Washington Capitals. So Coombsy, so you kind of mentioned before the show, before we went live, you went, Bordzy, what are we going to talk about for 60 minutes? Oh, brother, I got us covered. We can do this here. I want to go through, now that we know that the NHL bracket is completely set and we know what these matchups are going to be, I want you and I to go through the bracket and predict our Stanley Cup champion. But we're going to do it together so we can each pick. And if it's split 1-1 when we go through a series, I'm addicted to the wheel. I can't stop bringing the wheel up to decide. I was just telling Reese, it makes simple life decisions for me. I also recommend this, Coombsy, with your significant other, everyone in the chat. It's always very hard to pick a restaurant and where you want to go out and eat, right? It's always, it doesn't matter. Put a bunch of options into the wheel and then do the setting where you spin it, you remove the options, and then you go last man standing. But even with that, you can tell the reaction of your significant other when one gets removed from the wheel and they go, oh, damn it, and freak out. That was the one that they actually really wanted to go to. You go from there. 2 steps ahead, Aaron Bordato right here. Now, producer Reese, could you pull up the bracket right now for me on the screen and what we expect? So the only one, if you look at the right, second from the bottom on the right, it's Capitals. That is now the Montreal Canadiens. But Coombsy, I want us to go through. Let's go through the West first. And once again, if we're split 1-1, I have a wheel already set up here in front of me that just says higher seed, lower seed. And then we'll let that one be the decider. Because as I say, the wheel is just Coombsy, Jets, Blues. Who's winning that one?
The Jets are sort of notorious first round playoff chokers, but I don't think they're going to do it this year against St. Louis. I think this is sort of I'm not going to say the Jets are the team of destiny, but they're at least going to get out of the first round. I'll go Winnipeg on that.
It's an interesting matchup that the Jets have been by far the best team in the Western Conference all season long, and they're going to get a date with the hottest team in the NHL since the Four Nations break. God, I love the NHL playoffs. That's a matchup, especially the whiteouts in Winnipeg. It's going to be lit. It's going to be loud. As you mentioned, they've had a lot of disappointment. There's some nerves, you could say, around that team because it's kind of been the same thing all year. We know they're really good. We know they're going to get a ticket to the dance. But what can you do when the pressure's on? I mean, I'm not going to say, unfortunately, I was about to. Fuck the Blues. No, Jets all the way. 2-0. Jets continue to move on. The next one, which was an interesting one here, the Dallas Stars against the Colorado Avalanche. Coombsy, who do you think is going to take that one?
This is a really hard one. I think it's definitely the biggest toss-up in the first round. The 2 heavyweight matchups. Either of these teams is a Stanley Cup contender, but both of them did a lot to improve ahead of the trade deadline as well. Of course, we all know Mikko Rantanen, the surprising trade away from Colorado, winds up in Dallas after spending like 8 games with Carolina, and then he gets a long-term contract there. But I think Colorado has done more to upgrade their team throughout the year, especially with adding Mackenzie Blackwood, who's been excellent for them. So I'm going to go Colorado in 7 games.
I completely agree with you. I think this is the one that is technically an upset when you look at it here because Dallas is the higher seed. They will have home ice advantage. But all these moves that the Avalanche have made this season, they've really taken their roster from game 1 to game 82. Completely different. They got a different goaltender, traded away Mikko Rantanen. They've got more depth players throughout their lineup. I like the Avalanche, but as you kind of just said there, like, it really is a coin toss between both of those teams. So for coin toss, and because I'm addicted to the wheel, I just spun it and it said lower seed on this. So the wheel would tell you that it would be the Colorado Avalanche, and we tell you it would be the Colorado Avalanche as well. Next one up, Golden Knights, Minnesota Wild. For me, as much as I hate to say it, yeah, I think it's the Vegas Golden Knights. I think this one's like Knights in 5, maybe even Knights in 4. I hope it's not, but Coombsy, what about you? I'm Golden Knights.
Yeah, I can't really see Minnesota doing much in this series. They sort of limped into the playoffs as well. They've had a really difficult stretch with injuries in the latter part of the season. So I see Vegas taking this in 4 or 5 games.
Exactly. I believe this is also the 5th time in 8 years the Vegas Golden Knights have won the Pacific Division. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Oilers haven't won the division in an incredibly long time. Speaking of those Oilers, Coombsy, Kings Oilers 4th year in a row, but the Edmonton Oilers, they're going to have to get it done on the road as they are the 3 seed to the LA Kings 2 seed. You know what I'm going to say. I ain't never going to pick the LA Kings. I got Oilers. And I believe what I wrote on the board at the office is Oilers in 6. They get it done at Rogers Place.
Yeah, I'm going to say Oilers in 7 for this one. I think it's going to be the most difficult head-to-head they've had with LA. I mean, that first year back in 2022 felt like a bit of a coin toss when the Oilers remember they were coming into that playoff series having lost to being swept by Winnipeg the year before that and losing to Chicago in the bubble the year before that. So we were all skeptical, and they came out of that one in 7 games, had to go on the road and win game 6, then come back to Edmonton and win game 7. I think this one's going to be a sort of similar 7-game battle.
Yeah, I see some people in here. Oilers in 6, Oilers in 5, Oilers in 7. Not seeing any Kings anything, so I'm happy about that. Oil in 6 as well. Good work, chat. I also joked with you Coombs before, and I went, this is just gonna be the path to the Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup champion. Think I'm predicting anything else, but I want to go to the other first round, and we're gonna do it like that. So Leafs Senators, the Battle of Ontario. That has not been a thing in a very, very long time. I remember back in the day, it was those. I don't know if they were the Rock'em Sock'em, but whatever, like the Don Cherry 13, 14, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But they would always have like, I guess they're not documentaries, but whatever they are, they cover the playoff matchups. And all of them back in the day, the early 2000s, was just Leafs, Senators, two teams beating the shit out of each other. For me, I love the story. If anything, I like Ottawa more than the Maple Leafs. Not a massive fan of either one of them, but definitely. But I don't think I can overthink in this one. The Maple Leafs won the very tough Atlantic Division. They're the 1 seed for a reason. I think it's Leafs in 5 or 6.
Historically, the Leafs have owned that playoff matchup between Toronto and Ottawa. Like, the one goal that always stands out is that one that Joe Nieuwendyk scored on Patrick Lalime. He's coming down the wings and shoots the one that goes right between Lalime's legs. Yeah, the Leafs win most of their series in the playoffs against Ottawa, but recently, really since in the kind of Brady to Chuck, Tim Stützle era for the Sens, even with them out of the playoffs, they've still been playing the Leafs really well. They're that physical, chippy team and the one that gets players on Toronto to sort of shy away from playing their own game. So if anyone's going to upset the Leafs in the first round, I think it's the Sens. I'm going with Ottawa in 7 games.
Okay. So here's our first wheel spin that we get to do. We are split. I got higher seed. I got lower seed. The lower seed wins this one. So the Ottawa Senators moving on to the second round.
Hell yeah.
Wheelofnames.com. I highly recommend it for anything when you ever need to do it. The next one, move a little bit down. That's Capitals versus now the Montreal Canadiens. Coombsy, who takes that one?
Wait, which one are we doing? We're doing Montreal and Washington? Yeah, that's definitely going to be the Caps in 4 or 5 games. I think the Habs might be able to win 1, but they're that team that's sort of in the playoffs by default.
Guy and Dry said Bob Bordzy Barker. Also today, Jay Downton, our fearless leader, might have given me the nicest compliment anyone's ever given me, but he said that I remind him of Alex Trebek, and that I was talking about how I prepared a Jeopardy game for the mega stream, and he was like, Bordzy, I could see that. I had like a tear in my eye. I was like, dude, thank you. That's Canadian royalty. I do believe.
It's a legend.
Alex Trebek is Canadian. Alex Trebek's Canadian, right?
It's from Ottawa.
Shout out. Go Sens. We up.
Sens are in session, baby.
He's coming in hot with Brent Wallace as well. I see Brett's in our private chat. He used to produce coming in. Or no, that was in the regular chat. You guys saw that. He said go Sens. So shout out Sens. Final one. Hurricanes, Devils. The New Jersey Devils, they're probably a little bit more banged up than they would like to be going into this one. I think this is going to be an awesome series. There's going to be some offense going down in this one. Also, just some really, really good talent. Jacob Slavin, blah, blah, blah. Coombsy, who wins? Hurricanes, Devils.
I know this is technically 2 interesting teams on paper, but this is the series I have the least interest in watching. I really couldn't care what happens here less, but I think it's going to be Carolina in 6 games. The Devils are kind of hammered with injuries. Jack Hughes is down for the year. He's not going to be back during the playoffs. Dougie Hamilton was dealing with injuries. I just think Carolina will cruise through this one.
I also did skip Lightning Panthers. I don't know. I got very sidetracked through that. That's my bad. Coombsy. For me, I'm going to say Hurricanes, Devils. What'd you say again? I
said Hurricanes in 6.
Okay. I'm also going to go with the Hurricanes. As much as I wanted to spin the wheel right there, can't do that. Can't do that. Nope. I think the Hurricanes, it's just, could this be the year? I mean, who knows? Kind of say that every single year with the Carolina Hurricanes, it feels like. And then Coombsy, the one I did skip, the Florida Panthers defending Stanley Cup champions against the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team who's won a lot of cups in recent memory. Battle of Florida, Coombsy, who wins that one?
I might just be talking out of bias here, but I really don't want Florida to go on another playoff run. I don't want to see them in the Stanley Cup final, potentially, if the Oilers were to get there. I'd rather Florida just lose in the first round. I do think the Panthers are kind of bound for a loss here, given back-to-back runs to the Stanley Cup final. Their injury to Matthew Tkachuk. I think Seth Jones has been pretty bad since playing there. Aaron Ekblad with a suspension. Just a little bit of chaos in Florida. I think Tampa will take this in 6.
I also think Tampa's going to win this one. I just think this Florida team They've got new pieces. They've got guys that are banged up. And yes, they're that playoff caliber team. They know how to do it. They've been to the Cup final the last 2 seasons. Eventually, as you kind of mentioned, that is a lot of hockey. That's hard on the body. So, no, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Lightning as well. Okay, we got to speed her up a little bit quicker here. Jets, Avalanche. Who wins in the second round for that one?
This is where I see the Jets choking. I don't think the Jets are going to choke against St. Louis, but I don't see them getting past either one of Colorado or Dallas.
I agree 1,000%. I think the Colorado Avalanche are the scariest team that are in the Western Conference. They're the team that, talk about clenching, that's one that clenches for me. Then the next one, Golden Knights, Edmonton Oilers. Come on, we lost this one 2 years ago in this very spot in 6 games. Oilers, Golden Knights, who takes it?
Oilers take this in 7 games in the rematch.
I wouldn't predict anything but the fact that it's the Golden Knights, of course I'm saying Oilers in 7. Those 2 teams would beat the ever-loving shit out of each other the entire way and would be a highly, highly entertaining series. On the backside of the bracket, it's the Senators against the Lightning. Coom?
I'd like to see the Senators go on a run here, but I don't know if they have the ability to take down a team like Tampa after going toe-to-toe with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I have Tampa advancing over out of the Atlantic Division.
I'm picking up what you're laying down. I'm bagging what you're mowing. It's Tampa Bay Lightning. I just feel they're the other team in the East for me that is like the Colorado Avalanche, a team that's won before, but it's kind of revamped a little bit, redone some things to their roster, and they got a little bit. I don't want to use the word spunk, but that's the only word I can think of, and that's funny to add that with Pole as well. So let's go Capitals, Hurricanes. Who wins that second round series?
This is a tough one. I actually think that I sort of think the Alex Ovechkin sort of record-breaking goal tour season is gonna kind of run out of energy at some point in the playoffs. I don't know if Washington with Logan Thompson and what they've got going on can actually go on a deep Stanley Cup run. So I'm going to go with Carolina here.
Dude, we're thinking the exact same thing. As much as the OV season has been incredible, as good as the Capitals have been, there's always this thing of like, you got to learn to lose before you can win kind of dealio. And I feel like some guys on this team have never been through some of those trials and tribulations. Obviously, a fair amount of them have. They won the Stanley Cup. How many years ago that is? That's going to make me feel old. I'm not going to try and think about that.
6 years
the
ago,
Hurricanes,
5 years ago, 7? I don't even know.
I feel like 7. I feel
2018,
like 7.
right?
Yeah. So I think
7
that's
years
7.
ago.
Bang. We're not math guys. We never claimed to be math guys either. The Hurricanes been banging at the door for a very long time. They've been trying to get star player after star player. It hasn't worked out. They got rid of a star player. Maybe that's just the thing that'll crack the case for the Carolina Hurricanes. Coombsy, Avalanche, Oilers, Western Conference Final. Who does it?
After the Oilers got their after the Oilers got their revenge over the Golden Knights in the second round, they will also get their revenge over the Avalanche, another team who beat them en route to a Stanley Cup in 2022. That one's going to be 6 games for the Oilers.
Edmonton Oilers as well. You won't catch me predicting anything but.
Hell no.
That one's also going 7 games. Something tells me if the Oilers are going on another Stanley Cup run like they did last season, I think there's going to be a lot of 6-game series, 7-game series, a lot of late nights at Greta, just the way I want it. Gina also said 7 years ago the Caps won. Coombsy, virtual high five. Shout out to us. Then on the other side, it's Tampa Bay Lightning against the Carolina Hurricanes for me. I'm going with Tampa Bay Lightning. This team, they just got a different vibe to me this year. Andrei Vasilevsky has quietly been a top goaltender in the NHL. They've got talent all over the place. Kucherov's MVP level pace. Braden Point, we saw what he can do in the Four Nations. I said First Nations, Four Nations tournament, and he's just a clutch player in Braden Point. He's what scares me. He's the X factor for the Lightning always. I'm going Lightning over the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. I think Tampa had a couple of down years there where Florida or the Panthers took over as the team in Florida, but it's been since 2019 now when the Boston Bruins was it the Boston Bruins? I can't remember who it was. It came out in 2019, but it was 5 years in a row now that it's been Florida teams coming out of the Eastern Conference, either Tampa or the Panthers. So I think now it's kind of the Lightning's year to come back up. So I think they're going to get this one in 6 games.
Nah. It's the Edmonton Oilers year because it's a cup year. So it would be Oilers Lightning in the finals. Once again, team is way too good. Oilers in 7 for the cup. Yeah. What about you?
Oh, I'm going to say Oilers in 7. It's going to be a 7-game series. It's going to be the same kind of thing like last year going into Florida for a game 7, but it's going to work out better this time.
Bang. Who could have seen that? Who could have seen the Oilers Nation guys on Pregaming game 82 being incredibly optimistic, eye in the sky, and predicting an Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup victory? That would be absolutely fantastic. Let's go now. See, Coombsy, that's like 15 minutes right there. Need to know information, Wilhauk beef jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn the Wilhauk name. Made from a 100% pure Alberta beef, their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can pick their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively up from their Leduc location. It's a century mark night, I guess you could say. Connor McDavid 1 point away from 100 points for the 8th time in his career. And the Edmonton Oilers 1 point away from 100, which would be for the 4th consecutive season in a row. We're playing the Sharks. Barely even mentioned that so far. Edmonton's won 5 straight games over the Sharks and 13 of their last 14 meetings. 3-0 this season for the Oil, but it's been close. They've also been under games. 3-2 December 21st, 3-2 April 3rd, 4-2 on April 11th. So we do believe the Oilers expected to go with 12 forwards and 5 defensemen tonight. So a lot going on. We all know about it. Now throw a suspension in the mix. Ton of injuries. Connor Carrick was recalled on emergency basis, but he cannot play due to that recall. Throw in Nurse's suspension. I don't totally understand it. Either way, 12 forwards, 5 defensemen. Stuart Skinner, he's expected to start in this one. Second start since coming back from injury. First one was against the Jets. Looked damn good. Stopped 17 of 18 in that one. So hopefully he can do it again. The San Jose Sharks, they have, shout out to Coombsy's game notes here, because this is something, Coombsy, can you explain how the Sharks could get the first overall pick this year again, but if they do it, they're not allowed to pick first overall or win the lottery again for the next 3 seasons? Shout out game notes. Shout out Coombsy, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, back in 2021, they made a change to the draft lottery to kind of, it maybe is an Edmonton Oilers rule based on what happened in the early 2010s with the Oilers picking first overall 3 times and then picking first overall again in 2015 with Connor McDavid. Teams can now only win the draft lottery twice in a 5-year span. So San Jose won the draft lottery last year as the last place team and selected Macklin Celebrini first overall. If they win this year again with the top lottery odds, and that's 2 years in a row that they've won the draft lottery, they can't then participate essentially in the draft lottery for the next 3 seasons. They could technically still wind up with the first overall pick if they finish last, and a team that finishes, say, 13th wins the draft lottery and they can only move up 10 spots, then San Jose would stay in their position by default. But if they do win the lottery again this year, their ball is called for the 2nd consecutive season, then they're not going to be able, basically, it's going to be hard for them to get the first overall pick in the 2 drafts where it's Gavin McKenna, it's that other kid, Landon DuPont from Calgary, 2 really good potential first overall picks. So if you're the Sharks, you might be wanting to lose this draft lottery this year.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, that was a rule that, why I read game notes, people. That's why I go to Oilersnation.com. I was like, did they just slip that one under the rug? I don't remember hearing anything about that. Probably says more about me than the NHL. Now, the Sharks, they've been checked out of the season for a minute now. They're in the midst of a 10-game losing streak. They have won 3 of their 17 games since the NHL trade deadline. And as I say, I think they have 100% booked tee times for tomorrow morning. They got injury problems. Granted, they're just kind of punting. It's game 82. Here's a list of them for who's out. Thomas Bordalo, Zach Ostapchuk, Jack Thompson, Vinny D, Jan Ruda, Klim Kostin, Mario Ferraro, and Shakir Mukhamadullin. I'm pretty sure I said that name correctly. Celebrini, really good. Bright spot, awesome, has 25 goals. Will Smith, he's got 18, 45 points. Bright spot. Tyler Toffoli also just cracked the 30-goal mark for the 3rd time in his career. That guy scores goals, doesn't matter who's on his team. And then Alex Georgiev expected to get the start for these Sharks. Time, Sherwood Ford, a giant storyline brought to you by Sherwood Ford and their Nation Valet service. You need your oil change. You need really any routine car maintenance done. And it doesn't have to be a Ford. This is the thing that always needs to be clear. It could be anything. They will come pick it up at your home, at your work. They will drive it back, or they'll go service it. Then they'll drive it back to you. Man, you don't even have to leave the house. You don't even have to leave work. Shout out to Sherwood Ford, the Giant for a reason. My storyline, there is nothing to watch for in this game. No. There is one thing to watch for in this game, and it's something we created months ago, and I got literal skin on the line, and so does my pal, producer Brett Holden, who is teaching behind the scenes right now. Bert, if you're there, if you want to come hang out. Oh, I see my boy. I see him. There he is. So my storyline is solely the tattoo bet. Brett Kulak has a 4 block shot lead over Ty Emberson at this very moment. Also crunched numbers. Jake Wallman finished with 32 blocks in 15 total games. So he's not playing tonight. He can't catch him. Brett Kulak, he's got 43. MB with 39. Bert, how you feeling first? And then, once again, it could still be me. There's lots of things, but I believe you prepared something for the class.
I did prepare something for the class. I've prepared my tattoo ideas. So we'll talk about that in a second, but how I'm feeling is scared. The fact that Jake Wallman finished with 32 block shots in 15 games is like Brett Holden ball hockey Edmonton numbers. Like, that is goddamn impressive. So I wish he would have caught up, no problem, if he played these last. Yes, exactly.
No, we're not doing that.
I will go and pull up the numbers right now because they are damn impressive. He would have caught both of us, and we both would have had this. So, barring an absolute miracle, it's going to be me who's getting tattooed.
And you, I thought some of these preparations, I thought Kennedy did this, Brett, but turns out you did this. I didn't know you were such an artist, so shout out you.
Yeah, I kind of dicked my way through Photoshop today very quickly. So don't judge how there's a couple things when you see them, you're like, so
I think it's sick.
Thank you. But graphic designers, keep it in your pants. So here are the 3 final options. We are going to then put these on social media when we get more of a refined look for these tattoos, and then we'll have you guys vote, and then depending, we may do it live at Greta or we may be doing it on the mega stream, the 7-hour mega stream. So either way, Sunday/Monday, whenever this game is, we are going to be getting a tattoo live on air. But all right, without further ado, so I have 2 mock-ups. One I couldn't come up with really, but I'll kind of put this up to you guys here. But here's the first mock-up. Obviously, Jake Wallman almost made his way back into this and almost made it so both of us were getting this tattoo. This is the first one. Jake the Snake Wallman. I mean, obviously I was born in 1996 too, so that also kind of helps. But Jake Wallman also is sick. So having Jake Wallman tattoo would actually be dope. And kind of remembering as well just the fact that these teams can, or this tattoo bet happened because of Jake Wallman and everything like that. So this is the first one. Have the snake wrapped around 96, Jake the Snake Wallman. I can also end up putting like 2749 if we want on, but I think Jake the Snake Wallman kind of fucks, right?
I think because you're born in 96, I thought Kennedy made this. I couldn't believe it was you.
No, if you look closely, like in between the 9, you can see like it is a PNG that is supposed to wrap around something, and it barely wraps around. But
what's the other one?
The second one I have here is just the pre-gaming cups. And again, I like cut these from the bottom of like the wings at the bottom here and just kind of mash them together. We have a tattoo artist or whoever we end up getting to do this who's going to be much better at making cups and everything like that. So this is the idea for the second one. Excuse me. And then the third one that we will have will just be a straight up cup year. That will be the third option. And then when we get a refined like font and everything like that, we will post those out and we'll have you guys vote on what I'll get tattooed on my body. But what do you guys think? You like these?
I love the 96, and because you're born in 96, I think that is just beautiful. I
Yeah, me
understand
too.
that. I get that why it was a Kulak Emerson bet, but we did throw Wallman in it. And
Yeah.
it's just, dude, stick the snake, brother. Like, come on. That's kind of made for it. I appreciate the cups. I'd like that. If it's me, I want to just get cup year across my leg because we've built cup year up to something ridiculous. It's so fun to say. It's probably going to be a part of my life till I die. So, hey, why not throw it on your leg for your first ever tattoo? And it's always a cup year, which Doug Waite needs to understand in the chat. I'm not reading the question, Doug Waite, because that's so egregious of a question to ask. I am not worried in any way, shape, or form. The Edmonton Oilers haven't been the Edmonton Oilers for the last 2 weeks. I digress. Brett, love the tattoo ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And go Ty Emberson. Please have a Brett Kulak night, baby. Woo!
Well, it's kind of Brett Kulak's world, and we're living in it because Brett Kulak's wearing the A on his sweater for this hockey game right now because Darnell Nurse is out of the lineup. Let's go. Let's just do a quick peek here. Killed a lot of time without actually talking about the hockey game. Exactly how I thought pregaming was going to go tonight. Reese, if you do got it for me, we can pull up the Edmonton Oilers projected lineup in this hockey game because it does see the return of the man, the myth, the legend, 197 captain Connor McDavid with Jeff Skinner and Connor Brown. Will we see this trio be the first line game one of the NHL playoffs? I wouldn't be surprised, man. They've been pretty good, and obviously, Oilers been injured as shit. Second line, Pods, Nuge, Victor Arvidsson. Third line, we expect to be Corey Perry, Adam Henrique, and Kasperi Kapanen. Your fourth line, Maximum Jones with Matthias Janmark and Quinn Hudson. And then your deep pairings, once again, there's only 5 of them. So in this hockey game, you're going to have, if you want to hit it for me there, Reese, as well. Well, I see courtesy of our boy. So it's Candonine on the top pairing with Evan Bouchard. Brar has it listed this way as well. Brett Kulak with Josh Brown. Ty Emberson on the third pairing there. No man's land on an island by himself, which I love for the tattoo bet. Let's hope something good like that can happen. Got to go quick here, Coom, but Connor McDavid back. The dude had 9 points in 3 games in the 3 games since he came back from injury. He didn't need to play in every one of them, but I think this one's an indication he's going to get hopefully 100 points, and I could see him parking his ass on the end of the bench for the rest of the game. It's a beautiful thing. This would be his 8th season of 100 points in the NHL. 8 out of 10 seasons, he's recorded a 100-point season. That is nuts. That's insane. That doesn't happen every day, every player. Coombsy, he can do it again tonight.
Yeah, this is sort of the one thing to watch for in this game, pretty much. I mean, a lot of people wanted or kind of expected for the Oilers to healthy scratch Connor McDavid as a rest thing right before the playoffs and give them another day or two off before they start their first round series against the Kings, which we all know is going to be a bloodbath of a series given how that game number 82 went. But I think from Connor McDavid's point, I mean, you can kind of shrug at the 100-point thing, but these sort of things matter for players with milestones. And I mean, McDavid can become one of just 3 players in NHL history to have produced 8 different 100-point seasons. This is courtesy of Jason Greger's pre-game today at Oilers Nation. Marcel Dion had 8 different 100-point seasons. Mario Lemieux had 10. Wayne Gretzky had 15. So that's pretty elite company to get up in there. And given McDavid's age, if you can pass Wayne Gretzky for the most 100-point seasons, then that'd be pretty incredible.
That'd be pretty cool, Coombsy. No other way to put it. That would be pretty cool. Also seeing in the last game on, when was that? Monday. They're all just blending in at this point of the season. Just get me to the NHL playoffs. Quinn Hudson logged 14-27 time on ice. He led all forwards at 5v5 in ice time. Max Jones played the second most among forwards at 5v5. Something tells me we're going to be seeing some fourth liners in this hockey game tonight. And the big boys, what's left of the big boys, I will say, might be stapled on that bench right now. Josh Brown, he's playing second pairing minutes with Brett Kulak. Whatever, it's the final game. And I'll also give credit now. Josh Brown played, I forget however many minutes, not a ton in the last game. He was -2, but damn it, he was hitting dudes left, right, and center. He was blocking shots left, right, and center. He was doing everything he wanted to do. If Josh Brown's in the playoff lineup for the Oilers, that is not good. But at least the one thing I could say, it's like if he's a poor man's Vincent Desharnais, which is a crazy statement to say, but he can play physical. He can stand in front of the net, block some shots. Hope we never get to that point. Now, starting goaltender report. Sherwood Power Sports Marine, I'm bringing it at you. Shout out to them. They got a commercial that plays through every Oilers game, and they are awesome. It's springtime. It's about to be summertime. Get your boat serviced. Get your ATVs, quads, everything serviced. Or you're feeling adventurous. People, you can buy a boat. You can finance boats, all these things, scooters, whatever you want to do. But the deal, I always say, if you do buy a boat or finance a boat, you're contractually obligated to let me know so you and I can become best friends this summer. And while the parade's going on, we can finish the parade and go hop on a boat. But this evening, Coombsy, Stuart Skinner gets to start. He was very good against the Winnipeg Jets, 17 of 18 in that one. I'd say the impressive part is that the Oilers held the Jets to 18 shots in that hockey game. Paraphrasing here from Stu, but his pregame interview was just saying, this is a game for me to be dialed in, focus on the details, and this is how you want to enter the rest of the playoffs. It's a get right spot here. Let's roll. San Jose's not the biggest threats. They rank 31st in goals, 27th in shots, 25th on the power play, and 28th in shooting percentage. But Stu, that's another. There's a storyline watching Stuart Skinner and how he looks in this as we get ready for game one.
Yeah, this is sort of a nice tune-up game. It's like sending a player with an injury to the AHL for a little what do they call those, rehab games, I guess, where you're playing an AHL team to get yourself up to speed. Like, the Sharks are the easiest opponent you could face in the NHL this season. They're dead last in the NHL for a reason, and they sold off most of their good veteran players before the trade deadline. So should be a pretty light night for Stuart Skinner and a good opportunity for him to go into the playoffs this season against the Kings feeling good.
Yeah, exactly. You're hoping this is rolling for him. Alex Georgiev. Tyler today said he thinks this is the last game Georgiev will ever play in the NHL because he kind of sucks, dude. Kind of sucks. 15, 25, and 4 record, 3.40 goals against, 874 save percentage. His save percentage last season also started with an 8.7. Final year of a 3-year deal, 29 years old. Where did Liam said today? Back to Bulgaria. That's I guess, where
better relearn Bulgarian, buddy.
Absolutely. It's been George Yermanov the last couple games. Decided they didn't want to do that to the young kid again, so they're giving the Oilers Georgiev. Quickly go. Away lineup brought to you by Greta Bar Yag. People, we're going to be partying at Greta. After tonight, we are fully in playoff mode, which means all the events at Greta, all the pregame and all the postgame and all the Odd Company Nation beers, the Greta burgers, the Big Mac poutines, the beer pong games, Buck Hunter, whatever you want in that place, Mario Kart. I am so excited for this arcade bar street food, my favorite spot in the entire city. And it feels like just yesterday we were partying there for the NHL playoffs. There you see it on your screen. Top line, Tyler Toffoli with Macklin, Celebrini, and Will Smith. William Eklund with Wenberg and Lund. Kovalenko with Delandria and Gushin. Yep, Carl Grunstrom with Barclay Goudreau and Noah Gregor. Deep pairings, Henry Thron, Timothy Liljegren, Lucas Carlson, Jan Ruda, Jimmy Schultz with Mark Edward Vlasic, who I was shocked to find out was even still in the NHL. Coombsy, I feel like I've done this same segment here with the San Jose Sharks. This will be the 3rd time in April. But the one bright spot on this team is Macklin, Celebrini, and Will Smith. If you had to pick a player to watch, I bet it's one of those two or Toffoli, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty much got to be that top line. I think the rest of these sort of feel like just creative players to fill up the rest of a lineup, but it's the top line for San Jose, and there ain't a hell of a lot after that.
Yep, I think we can just kind of simply leave it at that. Let's go to Bordzy's Bankroll, quickly brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, you know it. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Where every nail-biting overtime, a winner is a barn burner. Every face-off, hat trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, and every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. Whatever the moment, never ordinary. They're an official partner of the NHL. Download the app today. Use the code NATION to get in on the game. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. Brett, you don't have to end this poll. You can just, as I said that, he ended the poll. But all right, we can do Bordzy's bankroll there as well. Coombsy, it's tough sledding out here on Bet365 tonight, really. Look at the odds on the McDavid 1 point. That's crazy. Everyone knows that he's one away from 100. I got RV shot prop minus 145. He's been ripping those pucks lately. 9 shots in his last 2 games, 15 over his last 5. That's an average of 3, and he has 9 shots on goal in 3 games against the San Jose Sharks this season. That's also an average of 3. I didn't pick it. The numbers picked it, okay? Read a book. Second one, Bouchard, power play point. San Jose ranks 28th in the NHL on the PK. In 13 career games, Bouchard has 19 points, and he's got 5 points in his last 5. I could see the power play being an area where Bouchard does good things tonight. And then finally, it's McDavid, 1+ point at minus 650. I mean, I just need to see one go down. So this is the one I'm looking for. You know he's going to be motivated. I was thinking about 2 points. That's minus 135. But I was very nervous that Nobby might just bench him after he gets 1 point because, as I've said, bubble wrap these players. And honorable mention, if you want to bet the under, it's minus 120, under 6.5. All 3 games this season have gone under. 3-2, 3-2, 4-2. All wins for the Oilers. Parlay moneyline oil with an under. Who knows? That could be juicy. Coombsy, you look at these 3 bets. Which one do you like the most? And it's probably McDavid, eh?
It's the McDavid one. Yeah, that's the automatic. There's no doubt. There's no doubt that he's playing this game, coming in for game number 82. He's taking a flight to San Jose to face the Sharks in a situation like this, the middle of April, and he's not going to put up at least 1 point.
Yeah, if he hopped on the plane, it was to get 1 point, put it in his pocket, and come on back. Do you think, Grimsey, could you also see McDavid after he gets the 1 point be shut down in this game?
Yeah, I could see him playing sort of sparing minutes. I don't think he's going to be stapled to the bench just watching the game, but it'll be infrequent minutes, probably with somebody like a Josh Brown, maybe a Maximum Jones on the ice with him at the same time.
Just let him play power play. Just let him go out there, wheel and deal. Then it's over. Go back to the bench. Keep your legs. Keep yourself fresh. And that's what I'm looking for, the poll as well. Yep, 77%, 97 1+ point. Probably the most runaway pick we've ever had. Also, want to give you a reminder and a shout out to Odd Company Nation Beer. Every day a lager, perfect for game day, perfect for every single day of the week. It's playoffs. It's time to oil up. It's time to Nation Beer up. Go down one of their 2 locations in the Edmonton area. You can buy flats of these things, which might be the most efficient way to do it. Playoffs are stressful. This will take off the edge. They're also incredibly delicious. Please drink responsibly. And once again, playoff season. Reese, take this off, and I want to make eye contact with the people in the chat. EPS ain't a sponsor anymore. No drinking and driving, people. You be smart during the NHL playoffs this season. My Uber bill last year was fucking ridiculous. It was crazy the amount of money I was spending. And you know what? Cheaper than a DUI. So let's all be very smart out there this playoff season. There's that one. And then, also want to give some love. Oodle Noodle. Always. You know them. You love them. They're the best. They still got their platinum pairing going on right now, which is $20 for 2 boxes and 2 spring rolls. Sorry, I believe 2 signature boxes. Let me correct myself. 2 signature boxes with 2 spring rolls, $20, and it's going until April 20th, Coombsy. This offer is going until 4/20. Also, final thing I want to mention. I do see a tweet here from Jason Greger, 746. With Montreal winning, sounds like the Oilers Kings will begin on Monday. Whoa. Thoughts, feelings, Coombsy?
I really wanted this thing to be on 4/20, but I'm also not going to complain about having this nice weekend here of that would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for us without any games. So I don't mind that.
You see this face? The idea of being able to get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Thursday, Friday, spooky, hilarious.
And on that note, we out, baby. Pre-game with Bordzy. Final one of the regular season. Final one. without Devin Dubnyk giving his keys to victory.
Doobie.
Very excited for that. Chat, you guys have been awesome all season long. I'm sure I'll see you again, Oilers Nation After Dark later, and I'll see you again for game 1 of the playoffs. Bordzy ain't going nowhere, but you guys are the best. The fact that you're still in here for games 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Please throw down your courtesy like. I love my sponsors. Love them a lot. Sherwood Ford, Sherwood Power Sports Marine, Greta, Bet365, Wilhawk Beef Jerky, Oodle Noodle, Odd Company. Help out all of those things because they help me out, and they are the best. Coombs, you help me out. Producer Reese, well, nope, still intern Reese for a couple more hours. Bang up job. Clap it up, Coombsy. Clap it up in the chat. Fantastic stuff from my boy. Very, very proud. We can tell Jeanette, the teacher at Nate, that he was able to do this one. Now, love you all. We'll be live right here after the game, breaking down who cares, whatever it's going to be, but we can talk about the tattoo bet and preview some NHL playoff series. Love you all. Peace out. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. Over and out.